Picture this. An 8-year-old boy steps onto a lacrosse field for the first time at his local elementary school. All geared up, has a stick in his hand, steps onto the field and gets ready for the first face-off. Gets his stick ready, gets down. He hears the referee blow the whistle. He snaps his stick down. He throws the ball between his legs to his teammate. His teammate scoops it up, passes the ball back to him. He runs down the field, throws the ball to another teammate, gets the ball back, shoots and scores. He instantly falls in love. That was me over 20 years ago. I fell in love with the game of lacrosse and have been playing for over 20 years. And I have played high school, college, and am now coaching at my alma mater. I love the game of lacrosse, and I hope after hearing this speech that you have a basic knowledge of the rules, regulations, equipment, and the field of play. Now, lacrosse has been played for many, many years in the country and has been used as a tool that the Indians played as a way to settle war, to prepare for war, and as a casual game of play. Now let's take a look at the field of play. The field of play here looks and is similar to the size of a football field. It is 60 yards wide by 110 yards long. Now there are 3 major zones, the midfield zone and the 2 offensive and defensive zones. Now a face-off, which I mentioned earlier, happens in the center of the field. A beginning of the game starts with 3 players on the defensive end with a goalie in the crease. The goal here, although it is not to size, is a 6x6 goal. This crease is an area where offensive players are not allowed to step into. On a face-off, we have 3 players, the player facing off and 2 on the wing, that are able to go in and fight for the ground ball until possession is called. After possession is called, the defensive players are able to be released from their box, but not cross over the midfield line. On the defensive end, 7 players play, meaning 6 game field players and 1 goalie, and 6 offensive players on one side of the field at a time. The coaching areas are here, and during penalties, a player will have to sit in the box Now that you have a basic knowledge of the field of play, let's take a look at some of the equipment that you have to use to step out onto the field. The first thing is a helmet. Now anytime you take a look at a helmet, of a sport where you have a helmet, you got to know that it's going to be a pretty physical game. Next are shoulder pads. Shoulder pads protect the chest and also protect the shoulders. Next we have gloves. And of course, elbow pads. Once you're fully equipped in all your gear, next thing you have to do is pick out your stick. Now the lacrosse stick is very important and very customizable. Now it has a shaft, a plastic head, and mesh. Now lacrosse sticks come in all shapes, colors, and sizes. Offensive players have shorter sticks like these. Defensive players have a much longer stick. An offensive player stick is 31 inches long, and a defensive player stick is 60 inches long. Along with the lacrosse stick, you have the lacrosse ball, which is a smaller than a baseball, a fully rubber ball, rubber throughout the core. Now, once you have your stick in your hand, the basic move is a cradle. A cradle is a way to take spin off the ball once the ball is passed and is caught. All right. Now, once you have your knowledge of your equipment that you're going to be wearing on the field, you need to make sure that you know the rules. Now you cannot hit a player in the head, and you can also not hit a player across the arm. Those are called penalties for slashing penalties. Another penalty is a cross check. It is when you have your hands too far apart on your shaft. You need to make sure that your hands are within a glove's width apart. When you have a penalty, you have to take time off and sit in the penalty box. Now typically, when a penalty happens, a referee will pull a flag out from his waist and say, flag down, letting all the players on the field know that a penalty is happening. Now a penalty can either be a 30-second, 60-second, 2-minute, or 3-minute, based on illegal equipment, having too many men on the field, slashing, cross-checking, and a new rule for 2015, no helmet-to-helmet contact, which has been a major rule through the NFL and for the sport of lacrosse as well. So player safety is very important. Now, once you have one of these penalties, you have to take a seat in the penalty box, and you are not able to be released until your opponent either scores a goal or the time on your penalty has elapsed. Now the game clock. Game clock is very important because not only can you design plays based on penalty time and time that you're going to have a one-man advantage or a two-man advantage, but a game clock is very important to know. In high school, games are played for 12-minute periods, 12-minute quarters, and in college, games are played 15-minute quarters with a halftime in between. And of course, the most important part of the game is scoring goals. Scoring goals are very fun and very exciting, and any player on the field can score a goal at any time. A goalie is able to come out of the field, come out of the net, and score a goal as long as he has a player that stays back on his defensive end. It is very exciting when you see a goalie or a defensive player even run the ball up and score a goal. Now, lacrosse is one of the fastest growing sports on 2 feet, and it is also one of the fastest growing sports in America. Now, I hope after hearing this, you are able to find a game being played, take a seat, and keep up with the pace of the game, and also have basic knowledge of what's going on. My name is Michael Gissis, and I appreciate you taking the time to listen to my speech.